Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about this massive volcanic eruption. But what's really fascinating is that it's a sign of something way, way bigger happening to our planet.
All right, to really get what's going on here, let's just start with one number, a big one, 50,000 feet.
That's how high the ash cloud was that shot out of the Haile-Goubi volcano in Ethiopia after being dormant for 12,000 years. And believe me, this wasn't just some local news story. This thing had consequences around the world.
Okay, so what actually went down on November 23rd? Yeah, this was definitely not a gentle wake-up call. After 12,000 years of being quiet, Haile-Goubi just exploded. People almost 200 kilometers away said it sounded like a bomb going off. The shockwaves were actually felt in the next country over, in Djibouti. And the ash, it just completely smothered villages miles away.
So this is how a volcano erupting in one spot can become a huge problem for the whole world. See, these ash clouds aren't just fluffy smoke. They're packed with these tiny, super sharp bits of rock and glass. Now, if a plane flies through that, those particles can literally melt inside the jet engines and cause them to just shut down mid-flight. On top of that, they act like sandpaper, scratching up the cockpit windows so badly the pilots can't even see.
And just look at the scale of this thing. This one ash cloud drifted all the way from Ethiopia, right across the Middle East, and reached Pakistan and India. It was grounding flights in cities as far away as Delhi. It's just a crazy reminder of how connected everything is, you know? Even the ground beneath our feet. Now let's talk about where this all happened, because the location itself is one of the most extreme places on Earth.
So this volcano sits in a place called the Danakil Depression. This is officially the hottest inhabited place on the planet. We're talking temperatures that regularly get over 50 degrees Celsius. It's this wild, almost alien-looking landscape with these bubbling chemical pools and huge salt flats, and it's all below sea level. Now, the one silver lining is that because it's so incredibly harsh and remote, nobody was hurt in the eruption. Which, of course, brings us to the big question. Why here? And why now? After 12,000 years of silence, what on earth could be powerful enough to set off an eruption this huge? Well, the answer isn't about a single volcano. It's actually about the slow, unstoppable movement of an entire continent. Okay, so here's the key. This eruption, it's really just a symptom of something much, much bigger called the East African Rift. And what that is a massive 6,000-kilometer-long crack in the Earth's crust that is literally ripping the African continent in two. Right where this volcano erupted is what geologists call a triple junction. You've got three massive tectonic plates, the Nubian, the Somali, and the Arabian, all pulling away from each other at the exact same time. Think about it like stretching a piece of fabric in three different directions at once. Sooner or later, it's got to rip. And that's exactly what's happening to the Earth right here. And here's the wild part. Even though we're talking about a whole continent splitting apart, the speed it's happening at is, well, it's surprisingly relatable. The two sides are moving apart at about 2 to 5 centimeters a year, which is just about the same speed your fingernails grow. Kind of puts it in perspective, right? So let's zoom out for a second and see what all this slow pulling and stretching is building up to, because it's pretty incredible. You know, this sort of thing has happened before in Earth's history. Millions of years ago, the supercontinent Pangaea broke apart. Much more recently, about 30 million years ago, the same kind of split between Africa and the Arabian Plate created the Red Sea. So what we're seeing right now, we are literally watching the very first stages of a brand new ocean being born. Give it 5 to 10 million years, and seawater is going to flood this whole Rift Valley, creating a new ocean and turning East Africa into its own separate continent. And in fact, this whole process of the continent tearing apart has already given us some of the most famous landmarks in Africa. We're talking Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Kenya, the Great Lakes like Tanzania and Malawi. All of them were created by the incredible geological forces of this exact same rift system. And look, I know a new ocean sounds like something out of the super distant future, but we are seeing shocking evidence of this process happening right now, in our lifetimes. Because even though the plates are moving at the speed of fingernails, the results can be anything but slow. Just back in 2005, a gigantic crack, 60 kilometers long and several meters wide, just ripped open in the Ethiopian desert. And it happened in just 10 days. It was like a shocking preview of the immense power that's building up just beneath the surface. There's this quote from geologists who study this area that just says it all. We are literally seeing a continent break apart in real time. That recent volcanic eruption,
It wasn't just some random event. It's another piece of the puzzle in one of the most incredible geological dramas playing out on our planet right now.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's that the ground we stand on is anything but solid and permanent. It's a living, breathing system that is constantly in motion. That eruption at Halley's Gubby wasn't just an explosion. It was like a message from deep inside the Earth, reminding us that change is constant. And it leaves you wondering, right? If a continent can literally tear itself apart right before our eyes, what other massive changes is our planet already preparing for?